Welcome back to the Memes Podcast. A long-awaited wait, but we're finally back. Today's episode, we're going to be covering mostly a mid-season review on the Wolves, some players we think have been doing good, some possible trade possibilities, and then just some mid-season review for some teams that have really caught our eye over the mid-season of the midpoint of the season. So first, we're just going to the Wolves. Who do you guys want to start with?
Let's start with D'Angelo Russell. He's been really inconsistent this year to start the year, at least. Through the first 3 or 4 months, obviously of late, he's played really well, but I think the team kind of went as he did for those first 3 months. He averaged 20 points a game in October, I think it was, which was a good month. He missed some time due to injury throughout the year, but I think his inconsistency was kind of the key for the Wolves' success or lack thereof. We were good when he was good, and we weren't so great when he wasn't great. I think we were 2-8 in games that he's missed. So I think it's pretty clear that the team goes as he does.
Yeah, it's been pretty big with, the fact that the Wolves are just a 10 times better team when D'Lo plays. And I just think he's just really stepped up so far this season defensively and is starting to become that quarterback of the defense, and it's really nice.
Yeah, I'm liking what I'm seeing from D'Lo this year. I'm kind of happy we didn't end up trading him, so he's been a real nice asset for us.
Yeah, it's really worked
Yeah, I
out.
think he's. Go ahead.
Oh, I just said it's really worked out.
Okay. Yeah, you mentioned his defense. I think that's probably one of the biggest things that he's improved on this year. You said being a quarterback, playing better off ball, organizing guys. He's clearly still not great on ball. He's not very quick or strong or physical or athletic. So putting him on ball is not that anybody has ever put him on ball intentionally, but on ball is definitely not where he should be. Off ball is better for him. He's got long arms and good hands, which is good to get in the passing lanes. So it's nice that we've finally, well, not finally, but it's nice that we've just put him in that role. It suits him very well. So that's great. Another takeaway for me, and I think maybe the first or second most surprising thing for Wolves fans is Malik Beasley's play. His shooting his way down. He's shooting 34% from three so far this year. Last year he shot, I think it was 39.9, so call it 40. And then the year before with us, he shot 43%. And that's all on a lot of attempts per game. I think it's 6 or 8. I think it was 8 in 1920 and 2021. I'm not sure what his attempts per game are this year, but it's hard to keep him out on the floor when he's not making shots because he doesn't defend very well. He doesn't really create, he doesn't assist. He's not a great rebounder. So it's really hard to make a case for him to stay on the floor if he isn't shooting the ball well.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it has to do with the fact that the NBA in general has a new ball they have to use, and players are still trying to get used to it. But he's had plenty, and I mean plenty of ups and downs this season, where we need him to make shots, and he'll just keep missing, or he's just on fire. So I don't know. I do like him, but it's just all this inconsistencies between them really scare me.
Yeah, it's definitely been frustrating when he's not playing well. Because you think there'd be other guys on our bench we'd rather see in the game than Beasley when he's not playing well. So, yeah.
I mean, a bright spot I've seen though, in the 9 games that he has started for us, when we've had players out from injuries, he is averaging about 18 points per game. But like I said, it's still those inconsistencies, man.
Yeah, it's not very well rounded, and it's hard to. Yeah, it's just difficult when you're not well rounded. If you have one really good skill or two, you know, it's hard
Mm-hmm.
to keep you out there when you're not doing what you're expected to do. And it's much worse when you're making $14.5 million to not do what is expected.
Hey, at least he's not Davis Bertans.
Right. Yeah, no kidding. Um, Stein, you brought up bench players that might be seeing the floor because of it. That's a good transition to Jalen Noel as our next surprise. He's obviously been great shooting the lights out. I think it's like 40+% from three this year or in a certain stretch recently, something like that. Yeah, he's been. Um, Actually, you guys can talk about Jalen Noel. I'll pull up stats for him.
He's been a dog, dude. Like, this man is not afraid of anything. He took over the fourth quarter in Madison Square Garden, made his comeback in that game, scored, I believe he scored 11 points in that fourth quarter. And
New
I
York,
just don't
Jalen
think
Noel.
I just don't think he's afraid. I just don't think he's afraid of the challenge. You know, he played pretty well against the Nets last game, and he just keeps showing out that he deserves to play.
Yeah,
Definitely.
he's like great. Like he's like aggressive, like you said, not afraid. He will take shots, and he's been making them. So he's definitely been a bright spot recently.
It's 38% from three so far this year.
Pretty dang good.
Yeah, and since December 10th, he's averaging 11.6 points per game, 41.3% from three. So, very, very solid percentage. And tying it back to Malik Beasley, like I brought up his $14.5 million price tag. It's really hard to talk about Malik in a positive way when he's making that much and he's not doing a lot with his minutes consistently. Obviously, Malik has had some games this year where he goes for like 20. I think he has like a 33-point game too.
I think it was that
But
Miami Heat game we went to.
was it? Yeah, it could have been.
I think he had like 30. Him and Ant were going off.
Right. But either way, he can score in bunches. We obviously know that. But Jalen Noel being behind him and playing just like straight up better than him in the last, I don't know, month or so. It it's hard to make a case to keep Malik out there. But that's kind of his game. He's hot and cold, and when he's hot, he can keep you in any game or he can win you just about any game. But when he's off, it's kind of just got to take him out.
Mm-hmm. I think it's safe to say that we've found, or Rosas has honestly just found a gem in Jalen Noel, which sucks because I mean Rosas he had a questionable first pick with Jared Culver, but his last draft was pretty damn good.
Right. It was
And
okay. I'm looking at the Malik game. It was 33 against Utah. The loss against Utah on December 23rd.
he still had a bunch of points though in that Miami game.
Yes. I'm trying to think of when that was.
December 17th, I believe, or before that, maybe.
November 24th. He had
Oh
29.
yeah. 17th was the Lakers game.
Yeah. 6 of 7 from
Deep, right?
that was from the free throw line. 5 of 13 from 3. But anyways, yeah, Malik can score in bunches. And that is really valuable. But when it's just not his game, it's hard to make a case to keep him out there.
I think it's safe to say, well, I kind of already brought this up, but like the whole Rosas has made some good moves and some bad moves. And I think it's easy to transition to the next his good move that he made for us acquiring Jared Vanderbilt.
Yes, nice transition. Go ahead.
I mean, just he's been like the defensive anchor, I'd say honestly, for our team. Him and Pat Bev
Yeah,
both.
as I said, you got to
But
lump Pat Bev in there too.
yeah, him and Pat Bev. We'll talk about Pat Bev in a little bit. But I don't know, it's just Vando just he brings this energy, this motor, that V8 nickname, baby. It literally fits him so well.
He does.
Yeah,
He brings the juice. I mean, he does all the things that
We
you
need him
don't
to do.
players do, like
We need him to
hustling,
do.
diving for balls, and rebounding like crazy, taking defensive assignments, like guarding the best player. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and of recent, he's been improving scoring too. I mean, he had his 21-point game against Houston and whatever 19 boards, which
Yeah,
is
21 and 19, right?
right.
let's
It's
go.
ridiculous. So yeah, it'd be really fun to see him come along because we know he can defend, obviously, but to see him see Finch try and figure out how to use him on offense will be interesting too. Not that it'll be like a focal point of or anything, but to make him, useful on offense too is going to be fun.
If he can
Yeah,
just figure out that jump shot and free throws, man, he could be dangerous. It takes a long time for a player to develop a jump shot. I mean, Kevin Love, he developed that 3-point shot. You could say the same with Brooke Lopez. Brooke Lopez really worked on his shooting over his years because he was not known as a shooter in Brooklyn, and then he went to Milwaukee, and or no, I guess he started with the Lakers, but he was huge in Milwaukee.
yeah. I think definitely my favorite thing about Vando is like his rebounding and hustle. I feel like I just feel like Cat doesn't really have that mentality when it comes to rebounds of like chasing them down and grabbing offensive boards. So I think Vando's been a huge, um, like I don't know, he's been huge in our lineup, grabbing offensive rebounds, getting putbacks. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point. He complements Cat very well. Cat does what Vando doesn't do, and Vando does what Cat doesn't do.
yeah,
Makes for a fairly well-rounded front court. Speaking of front court, Naz Reid um, has not been very good recently. We had high hopes for him coming into this year to, hold down the backup center spot, and his defensive woes have. Well, I don't know. I don't even know if I want to call them defensive woes, but just hasn't. And he's been okay throughout the year, but recently it hasn't been great. Um, I'm looking at his stats right now. In January, he's averaging 8 points a game. That's okay, but it's not bad. But he had better stretches earlier in the year. But just trying to. It's hard for him to keep up physically with some of the bigger bigs. Same kind of goes for Cat, I guess, like Valanciunas games and stuff like that. I mean, Cat's better than Nas in those cases. We basically couldn't even play Nas against Valanciunas. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's just kind of struggled physically, I guess, which has been a little bit of a concern for Nas.
I think you hit right at the hammer with Nas, but we kind of totally skipped over, but Pat Bev, man, Pat Bev, what an acquisition! This man has been, I probably honestly the team difference maker. Just his whole work ethic and how he wants our team to play defensively. It just changed like everyone's mind. Everyone's bought in to playing defense this year, and I feel like Pat Bev really just kind of sparked that.
Absolutely. Where do you guys think we would rank on defense across the league if Pat Bev wasn't on our team? We're like 10th right now.
Bottom 10, easily.
Bottom
Yeah,
10. Okay, so we
Easily.
drop 10 spots then.
at
You can
least.
10
say
plus
probably
spots.
even more, 10 plus.
Yeah. I think that's probably about right. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's been unreal.
he just brought the energy that we needed. Like I've never, I don't know, we haven't really had a player like that. That's just like he just got that mindset, of just like locking dudes up and being very aggressive and annoying, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, maybe I'm missing someone. Could very well be the case, but it's kind of like KG was like the last guy that was similar to Pat Bev, like defensively, obviously not like in terms of size, but like attitude and like physicality and that kind of thing. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think like KG and Pat Bev defensively have that same kind of like grit, I guess. I don't know. You just like gotta, you just, it's the eye test, I guess. You watch them play and you just know that they're for real and they're not gonna back down. They're not gonna whatever. You can just see their intensity,
That's right.
which is huge, like you said. Like for this team, like accountability too with Pat Bev, like calling guys out and like not just to call them out, but for learning purposes and teaching them and that kind of thing has been huge.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Also, being able to hide D'Lo off ball is very big
it's
as well.
helpful.
Um,
I think we should just talk about Cat. I mean, we could also talk about Ant, but I think we should just go right into Cat.
yeah, like his complaining or just overall.
Overall, Cat.
All right, you can kick her off, Doozy.
Okay, I don't really know how to transition it, but
You don't have to.
We already transitioned.
Yeah,
let's talk about Cat. You know, Cat obviously probably definitely should be an all-star this year. He's been great. And it's based just more team success. He's put a little more into the defensive effort, I think, but he just has a problem with offensive fouls and complaining that, I feel like can just be easily be fixed. But I don't know, what do you guys think?
go ahead, Stein. I'm gonna pull up his technicals this year. Like, can't remember how
Alright.
many it is.
Yeah, I think he's been good. I mean, yeah, obviously there's foul. We've had foul issues here recently. But yeah, he's like obviously one of the best offensive centers in the league. Defense, I think it's kind of stepped up. I don't know. I haven't really paid attention that much, but uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing for us, and that's scoring points, and playing well.
Okay, so Cat has 8 technicals this year.
All right.
Um, 8 technicals, which was
That
17, 18 his first season? No way.
no, it was like wasn't he 15 draft?
That's what I thought. Fox Sports is only showing me 17, 18 through 2022. So whatever. Um, yeah, he has 8 technicals this year, 1 flagrant. Um, he's just undisciplined, and it's really, really hard to watch. Um, Cat does a lot of things very, very well, and he's, the best player on this team. But and not enough can be said about his shooting, his offensive play, his whatever. Everything is great, right? Not complaining about that, but just the complaining is just really, really annoying to watch. It like takes him out of plays. He'll think he gets fouled, and then he stays down there for like half a second and complains and puts his arms up, and before you know it, the other team is playing like 5-on-4, or Cat's like a couple steps behind, which is really significant, especially when he's your big. And like Vando is your next biggest guy on the court, or Torian Prince is, whatever. And their center's just down there calling for the ball or something. It's just frustrating. So yeah, it'd be really nice to see that cleaned up a little bit. But I mean, to be fair, the officiating hasn't been up to par with Cat this year. There have clearly been some missed calls, and so I'm not saying that his frustration isn't justified. It's just really not fun to watch.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You know, you can always change it around. So,
Right.
at least I hope. Okay, well, let's go over some of the Wolves, just players in general. Trade possibilities, boys. We're at that midseason. I believe we're like 2 or 3 weeks away from the trade deadline on February 10th. What do you guys think? What do we need, or what players should we target?
Go ahead, Stein.
Yeah. I don't really know what we need, to be honest. Like, obviously, another big man is probably what we do need, but I haven't really seen a ton of like glaring holes in our team this year. I feel like we've just looked a lot better than we have in the past this year, and I don't know. I like this. I like the group of players we have now, and I don't really want to see any of our guys get traded. Maybe like Okogie, I'm willing to part with.
Who's trading for Okogie, but
Yeah, exactly. I mean, maybe like Prince, I'd be willing to part with, but I'm liking the core we have right now. But I'm definitely open to hear what you guys have for upgrades.
yeah, I think like cleaning up the guys who don't really get a ton of minutes, like Okogie or Prince, whoever, guys that kind of at the back end of the rotation, Jake Layman.
Oh yeah, definitely trade him.
How about those
If
expiring deals, boys?
right. If you can include those guys in a deal, like I said, they're not going to be traded for. No one's going to like seek them out, I don't think. But
That Jake Layman trade market's been pretty big recently. I've been hearing.
oh yeah, with all the minutes he gets,
Yeah,
he's got a lot of tape out there that teams are looking at for sure.
a lot of high quality plays.
I think for me, the trade possibilities center around. My thought is that I want another center next to Cat. I don't want like another four that's like a defensive four who's like 6'8", 6'7", whatever. I would really like to have an actual center and then have Cat play the four. This might feel a little bit like a broken record. We've talked about like trying this for a while, but we haven't, and I think that we should. So Miles Turner again, of course, would love that to happen. His price tag may be a little bit steep. Pacers are going to want picks and young players, of course. But yeah, I just think like a center would be ideal. I think that's just what the whole trade, upcoming trade deadline and stuff centers around for me, because like you said, Stein, I think we're okay on like wings and point guard depth, and I mean, Nas hasn't been great recently, but like backup five, I think we're still cool with Nas. But yeah, I think another starting big that can act as a center for us is kind of what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's big. The fact that it's just getting another big center around Cat will just help. Preferably one that can possibly stretch the floor and play decent defense. Miles Turner, the ultimate prize, personally. But you never know what the Pacers are really feeling. I don't know. We can't really tell if they're buying or selling yet. But
You guys remember what they said their
right
price
players look
tag
good.
was for him?
I thought it was just.
I
I
saw
know if
some
they
tweet
want a
recently.
first. They want a first
I
for
thought it was like
sure.
a young player. I thought it was a young player and a first, or like two firsts, or something. Maybe
See,
I'm maybe
I'd
I'm wrong,
throw in
but I
a.
remember it was higher than I thought it was going to be.
I think that sounds about right. Yeah, I think it was higher than I remember, or than I was expecting.
Which I mean, obviously they're gonna like try and boost. Like they're not gonna say
Yeah,
they want one first and Jake Layman, but like
yeah,
Well, we got to
that
fit the
kind of thing.
salaries too. You know,
Right? Yeah, I was just being hyperbolic, but
and we really only
um,
have two players that can fit that price tag, and which is Torian Prince's contract and Malik Beasley.
right. Yeah, so it's a bummer to hear that his price tag is at that level, but I mean he's a good player. So, and you have to give up something for a good player. So, can't be naive, I guess. So that I was going to ask you guys that. What do you guys think the if you could choose a player or just the archetype of a player to put next to Cat, what would it be for you guys?
I mean, I already said it with that, just that center build that plays good defense and can possibly spread the floor.
Mhm.
But that's a hot commodity in today's league, man.
yeah. That's like the perfect thing every team's looking for. I don't. Yeah, I mean, just honestly, I think we're like our offense right now. I feel like is good, even with Vando's underwhelming offensive talent. So like any bigger guy, like they don't. I guess they don't really have to be like a crazy good offensive player, and I think we'd still be able to win games here for the rest of the season. But
It'd be nice to have Rocco back. Somehow pull that off.
Right.
yeah, little Torian Prince for Rocco, just basically getting the same guy back.
Mhm.
I mean,
Similar.
if we want a big bodied center that plays super physical too, I mean, Nurkic too. I think he's been available.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's interesting. How much is he getting paid?
I think like 10 mil.
it's not bad.
So yeah, same structure, probably like Beasley or Prince and picks or combination
See,
of those things.
with Nurkic, I don't think you have to give up a first, maybe a couple seconds. I don't think you need to give up a first for him.
Right.
That's
12
definitely
million
a
this year for
plus.
Nurkic. So yeah, they would match pretty well with like Prince, Beasley. Okay, mid-season review. Um, what are some surprising teams coming out of the East for you guys?
I think you just got to start with the Cavs, man. The Cavs have been unbelievable this year. Such a surprise for me. Evan Mobley is probably the rookie of the year. Um, Kevin Love's had some games where he's been really good. Darius Garland's really stepped it up lately,
Oh yeah,
and I think they're a very exciting team to watch.
Should have been Timberwolf, Darius Garland.
Should have, should
yeah.
have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, couldn't get. You just need one more spot. You know.
So close.
I think the Hawks stand out to me. Obviously, going from the Eastern Conference Finals to like I don't know where they're at now, 12th
Oh,
in the
I got
East.
you. Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
You saying that's a surprise?
it is a surprise. One of the
No,
final
no,
four
no.
teams being 12th in their conference is a surprise.
I mean, that was a fluke last year. They should have been out in the first round.
Okay, here we go.
I just I don't think the Hawks are good. I don't like I mean maybe like I didn't expect them to be completely out of the playoffs, but I definitely would not have thought they'd like get past the first round again this year. I don't know. I just don't believe in their talent like or players at all in their team. I don't know.
How much of it is Trae Young?
I mean a lot of it's
Just for
Trey
the win.
Young, but like I don't like their role players either. Like they have all the same guys, just at like Gallinari, Bogdanovich. They're all just like the same. Herder. I don't know. They're all just like random dudes that I don't think are like that great, but they're I don't know.
Pretty expensive too.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah,
expensive
very
and
expensive.
just average. I feel like.
You know, they signed John Collins that huge contract, and it's more the fact that they're looking like they want to trade him, or he's getting unhappy with them.
Wait, they already want to trade Collins too, or
I think
Collins wants to
Col-
leave.
I think Collins is frustrated with the way they've been playing
Yeah, I
already.
would be
Yeah.
too. I'm on a horrible team. I would want to get out of there.
Yeah, you can come to a good team like the Wolves.
Yeah, I don't know if
Historically
we can
good team.
afford him, but
Yeah. No, we'd have to pull some major strings to make that happen.
yeah.
Other surprises in the East?
For me, it's the Pacers. I thought they'd be a lot better than like right now they're bad, which is very disappointing. You think? I mean, I know like isn't Brogdon been hurt or whatever for a while?
I
So
think
I don't
as of
know.
late, Sabonis has also been hurt.
Yeah, they're kind of dealing with some injuries, but like you would think that roster would be. I would think they'd be a little bit more near 500, especially with Lance Stevenson coming back, of course.
Just
Maybe
gonna
you
say,
should,
tell us the real reason that
yeah,
you're talking about the Pacers.
maybe you should give him that guaranteed contract for the rest of the year, Pacers. Hope you hear this. Um, then you might start winning more games, but it has been,
Multi-year deal.
yeah, of course,
Yeah.
yeah, multiple year deal equals multiple championships. Uh, but yeah, no, I don't know. I feel like they have enough talent to like be better than I don't know the Wizards or maybe I don't know maybe even Raptors. But they're just underperforming.
That brings a good point with the Raptors. They've been really surprising me this year. You know, getting rid of Kyle Lowry and still playing decent basketball really just has intrigued me. Scotty Barnes has been a really good prospect.
Yeah, he's been great.
Love Scotty Barnes.
Kind of surprised that I was initially surprised that Jalen Suggs didn't go there, but it's worked out for him. So
Yeah, Van Vliet's been taking like a million shots per game, but it's
Yeah.
kind of working.
Freddie, baby.
That's right.
Any other surprises for the East, or should we go to the West?
The Bulls, obviously.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Um, DeMar DeRozan putting up like borderline MVP numbers is, that's obviously certainly a surprise. That's wild. But yeah, Lonzo Ball. I was always a fan of Lonzo Ball. I think he's just a really well-rounded point guard. He's been what they needed. Shift Kobe White to more of a bench role, I think has been beneficial. I mean, Kobe's not like fantastic. Whoa, that's a bad out of context. Kobe isn't fantastic. Um, Kobe White,
Or sound biting that,
right?
playing that.
Fuck. Um, but no, yeah, Bulls are good. Caruso, awesome. Um, super surprising. Did not expect him to be anywhere near this caliber, but
Yeah, I like what the Bulls did. You know, they don't. DeRozan was honestly really. Everyone thought he's gonna be the biggest contract bust the whole summer of what the Bulls gave him, and he's outperformed everybody's expectations. And it's really helped them get to where they are right now and where they were before the injuries happened. Um, but the Bulls, at once healthy, the Bulls could make a deep playoff run, in my opinion.
Yeah,
definitely.
they'll definitely be a team that should go far for sure.
What do you guys got in the West?
I think it's a no-brainer. Memphis Grizzlies. You
Oh
can't
yeah,
Certainly.
go with the West without talking about Memphis, bro. What are they
Can't
currently
talk about
third in the West with a
yeah.
32-17 record over the Utah Jazz at 30-18 right now. But I don't know, they just been playing stellar basketball. John Morant's really stepped up. The whole team in general has really stepped up. They had that really, I believe they had an 11-game losing or winning streak before they lost the first game to the Mavericks. The Wolves almost beat them. I will give them props, but we didn't. But yeah, they've been such a surprise for me this whole season.
Yeah, led by Jared Culver. That's a pretty impressive team.
Oh yeah.
I think that's
Never say that
certainly what we
again.
all had in mind after we traded traded Culver, is that we expected the Grizzlies to improve drastically. I think that's consensus opinion there.
Yep.
Hey,
Um,
they've been losing some games as of late when Culver's been playing, so we'll just say
Yikes. Um,
Culver isn't the move.
yeah, it's got to be the players around Culver. Um, uh, Lakers, big surprise. Actually, I like, I don't know. We were talking before we started recording that we had the Lakers predicted in the top 4 coming into this year. So we projected them to finish in the top 4 this season. That is not where they are. I don't know why I said that, because I really did not like the structure of this team going into this year. I think Russ, Braun, and AD is a not good trio. And then filling out the roster with minimum guys that are like 38 years old, like Trevor Ariza.
Oh, that better not be a mellow diss right there.
I
Come on.
said Trevor Ariza.
You
I
did
said
say
Trevor Ariza.
Melo's been good, so
Melo's
can't
been a
complain.
very good part of the team.
Mello has been mellow.
That's right.
THT has been a bum.
That's right.
Believe
Yeah,
they
that's there.
want
That's
to
there.
trade him.
Right. But no, they're not good. Russ is super problematic. Um, and it's a nightmare. They can't trade him. Nobody's like, you can't trade him to any team that's not rebuilding as just salary dump. I don't think anybody takes on that contract. I saw a little something today,
Yeah,
about John Wall.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, that's
It's
about
just
the only move you can make.
again, do the
Yeah,
John Wall
exactly.
Russ swap
Which
again.
which isn't beneficial for either team, but
Oh,
uh,
I
hey,
mean, at least John Wall
who
is starting
knows?
playing ball again. I want to see him back in the league.
yeah, that's a good point. I do want to see him playing after he missed so much time injured. Then he comes back, plays a little bit, and then
It's stuck on the
out
Rockets.
again. Right.
Yeah.
That's awful. Um, but yeah, Lakers are.
Hey, I got faith. They're gonna creep back up. I'm
I hope they don't,
we
They
still
did
because
have.
beat.
Whoa,
They
whoa,
did
come
beat.
on.
They did
the
beat the
Wolves
Nets tonight to
Wolves
make
are
it.
ahead of the Lakers. Actually, I don't know if that game
Not
is over yet. So
anymore. Not
yeah, I
anymore.
didn't think so. They
Uh,
were.
If we win tonight, we are. But
it's all right. Lakers will knock the Nuggets. We can knock the Nuggets into the play-in.
Yeah.
Nuggets and Jazz, hopefully.
Yeah. Jazz drop off.
Wolves and Lakers can take the spot. I'd be
Hey,
fine with
exactly.
that. Yeah.
What's another team you guys think has been really surprising this season?
I'll just say the Warriors, which I don't know. It's not really a surprise because they're the Warriors. But I did not think they'd be this good right away. We kind of said we'd think they'd be a second half team because you get back Clay. But they've been very good all year so far, and I don't see that slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
you're right.
exact same way. Um, Similar thoughts for the Suns for me. And when I say similar thoughts, I just mean didn't think they'd be this good.
Oh yeah,
Um,
exactly.
I mean, 37-9, like Jesus Christ, this team is incredible. Picking up right where they left off. I expected a little bit of regression just because, like, making it to the finals was so surprising. That I thought maybe they'd kind of chill out a little bit, but they're just like, I don't know if this is their record right now is better than it was during, like, for that
Last
stretch
season,
last year. Yeah, like I don't know if they're improved statistically or like record wise, but um, unreal,
they're definitely
unreal.
close.
Single digit losses, and we're creeping into February. That's wild. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's surprising for me, big time.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point. I think there's this whole season's kind of been surprising with all the NBA players coming back with COVID, with all the COVID stuff happening. Shout out Greg Monroe for his 1 week stint in the Wolves. But yeah, so that was our mid-season review, and we'll see you next time.